Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today's video is going to be chatting about my Dewy makeup favorites. I did this video probably at least 2 years ago, and I've had just some requests over the last probably year to do an updated one. So that is what I'm going to do today. It's going to be heavy complexion focused, of course. I have a couple eyeshadow things that I want to chat about too, but for the most part, this is very complexion focused today. Before we hop into my Dewy makeup favorites though, I did want to let you know that this video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creative and curious people to explore thousands of interests. Whether you're trying to explore something new or just further dive into something you're already interested in, there is something for everybody on Skillshare. They have everything from plants to cooking to productivity to film and photography. Literally, the amount of topics are endless. Skillshare is also an amazing source for freelancers and entrepreneurs. There are a lot of resources to help support your growing side hustle or even your full-on career. The class that I've recently been enjoying is Creative Mindfulness, Easy Exercises to Find Magic and Inspiration Everywhere by Dan Liu. Just the title alone sucked me in. I loved the idea of this. This year, I've very much been trying to connect more with just nature and things that are outside of social media, if I'm being honest with you, and I loved the idea with this class. As a person who is creative most of the time, my jobs are both very creative fields. I really liked the idea of this class to really just open my eyes, simply pay attention to what's around me and grab inspiration from things around me. It was very inspiring and got me really excited to just enjoy life more. I'm very excited about this class. Another great thing about Skillshare is that it's ad-free, so you can stay in the zone while you're exploring your new skills, and they are always launching new premium classes each week. I would also like to add that each catalog is now available in subtitles in French, Portuguese, Spanish, and German. Thank you so much, Skillshare, for partnering with me on this video. The first 1,000 of you to click the link in my description box will receive a 1-month free trial to Skillshare's membership. All right, back to business, but really quick before we get into the Dewy favorites, I did, of course, film this look. It should already be up on my Instagram and TikTok by the time this video goes up, and let me just give you my accessory details. This necklace today is from Ana Luisa. These earrings are from Shop Sun & Co. You can use my affiliate code battybean for 10% off. And this is an insert name here ponytail. This is the Sharon ponytail in dark brown. I'm obsessed with it. And I have a non-affiliated code with them as well. You can use my code battybean on their site. So yeah, without further ado, let's just hop in and chat about some Dewy makeup. Okay, so we're just gonna go in the order that I do my makeup because that is what makes sense. I have a couple primer things to talk about. The end-all be-all of primers for me is the Glossier Future Dew Primer. I've been loving this for years. I'm obsessed with it. I'm getting really low on mine actually. It's like here. So I'm gonna need to place another Glossier order soon. Side note, what are your favorite Glossier products? I have some, but I have not tried the majority, and a lot of the complexion products sound appealing. So let me know if there's anything that I need. Thank you very much. It's just such a glowy primer. It leaves your skin so radiant. It has such a beautiful just sheen to the skin, and it has a little bit of tackiness so your makeup can stick on really nicely. I even like wearing this on days that I'm not really wearing makeup because it just makes my skin look really good. The next kind of primary item is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This is the mini one in particular. One of my longtime salon guests gave this to me recently, actually, very recently. Been using this for about a week and a half, but I'm already obsessed. This one in particular is in the shade 3 Fair. When I repurchase it in the future, I'll probably snag 1 or 2, but 3 seems fine enough. Basically, what I've been doing is after I prime, I go in with this, and I'll just kind of draw some lines on the high points of my face. It has a little wand, which is super helpful. And I'll just kind of hit up like just certain areas on my face, and then I'll blend it out before going in with my other products. I've used this both under foundation, and I've also skipped foundation and started going in with just concealer. I love this. I think it leaves such a beautiful glow to the skin. I've also worn this on a couple days that I didn't really feel like wearing any other makeup just because it makes my skin look so radiant and glowy and dewy and amazing. The hype is real with this. I know this has been around for quite a while now. It's been raved about for quite a while now, but I'm finally on the train and I am obsessed. Moving on to some foundation-y products. The first one is the one that I'm wearing today. It is my Urban Decay Tinted Hydromaniac Glow Hydrator. Lots of names with this one. Mine in particular is in the shade Fair 20. I love this. It is just so glowy and moisturizing, and it blends onto the skin like a dream. I prefer to use a sponge, but you can use a brush. I'm just a sponge person usually. I'll just put a little bloop on there and just blend it out. You know, I don't use a crazy amount. This is medium coverage, but I personally feel like it's more light to medium depending on how much you use. I personally prefer more of a sheer to light coverage with my foundation. I think this is beautiful. If you're looking for a very glowy product, this is such a good one. And one of my other favorites is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizer. This is very well loved. I absolutely adore this. If you do not like a sheer coverage, you would hate this, but if you're like me and you like a more sheer coverage with your kind of base product, you would love this. It melts onto the skin so lightweight, almost like a watery moisturizer consistency with just the slightest bit of tint. Mine is in the shade Fair 3W. I'm pretty sure I got this shade because it was the closest thing that was in stock when I first got mine. I'd probably do N in the future because I'm more of an N than a W, but since it's so sheer, you can kind of get away with it not being a perfect match. This is wonderful. It is so lightweight and just so glowy and so beautiful. This is what I want to wear on the days that I don't really want to wear foundation, but I also want a little bit more than just concealer. That's when I use this one. It makes the skin so pretty. I adore this. So I don't really have any specific concealer favorites because the concealers I go for nowadays anyways are more of the like satiny finish, kind of medium coverage. So really any concealer you ever catch me wearing is applicable because I do not like a matte full coverage concealer at all. Absolutely not. No matte things in this house. Thank you very much. So moving on to bronzer, I have one in particular that is so beautiful, so glowy. It's a recent discovery and I'm obsessed. This is the Milk Makeup Bionic Bronzer. This is in the shade Time Travel. I think there's 3 or 4 shades of this total, and this is so glowy. I'll do a little swatchy for you. Make sure you shake these up before you use them, any of the Bionic line, because they're a bit watery, but it's just so glowy. Do you see? It's so shiny and it's so pretty and it blends onto the skin so smooth. It doesn't get sticky at all, even though it kind of looks like more of a sticky consistency. It's not sticky at all. It's just very serum-y and glowy and so, so pretty. And I love this color, especially for my ghostly skin. This is such a hit for me. All of my other bronzers, cream or powder, are still a little bit more on the glowy side, but this is the one that is pure dew, so I had to talk about this one. Moving on to blushes, I have quite a few blushes, I have quite a few creams, and I do have one powder that I still consider to be very dewy, even though it's not wet. I guess let's keep with the Milk makeup train. This is one of the Bionic blushes. This one is in the shade Teleport, and it is so pretty. I will say the blushes are a little bit more sheer on the skin than the bronzer is. I feel like the bronzer does like show the pigmentation a little bit more. So these are a little bit more sheer, but they can be built up to be very pretty. Just look at that dew. It is so glowy and so wet. I honestly feel like one of the main things I like about this, color aside, even though this is a beautiful color, I just love the effect that this leaves. It is so wet. If you're looking for that glossy skin look, this is the one for you. There's a few shades of this as well, and they are all so pretty. Let's throw it back to an oldie but a goodie. This is the Glossier Cloud Paint in the shade Beam. Well, this is just in Beam specifically, but I love all the cloud paints. I think I own 3 of them. This one in particular was actually my very first cream like complexion product ever. I was terrified of it at first. I don't think I used it for 2 months, but it's still just so pretty. It is so soft and glowy and it builds up so nicely. Such a beautiful, very hydrating, glowy cream product. It is so user-friendly. Again, it was my first cream product ever, and I never made a mess of it. I feel like this is so wonderful, and this will last you forever. I've been using this for years. Granted, I haven't been using it every day for years, but I've been using it for years, and it is holding on strong. So beautiful, such a good product. Next, I want to talk about the Rare Beauty blushes. These are beautiful. They have both a matte and a dewy version, and the dewy is what I'm going to be talking about today. This specific one is in the shade Hope. It's on a little doe foot applicator, and it is just so pretty. The matte ones are really nice as well. I do find with the matte ones, you have to work a little bit faster. These ones, you have a little bit more working time when you're blending it out. It is just so pretty and soft and glowy on the skin. I absolutely adore these. I love the doe foot applicator. I love the shade range with these. There are so many different colors and I'm just obsessed. I love glowy makeup. I love doing this video. Next, I want to talk about Tower 28. This is one of the Beach Please blushes. I actually have a few shades of this particular product. This is in the shade Powerhouse. It's what I'm wearing today. These are really, really pretty. So glowy, and they blend so incredibly smooth on the face. I feel like they pack a good amount of punch, but they do blend very, very softly. And they just have such a beautiful, creamy, dewy glow to them. Oh my gosh, I love these so much. I literally think I have 4 of the shades. It's quite a lovely product. I'm very pleased with it. And last cream blush before we get into my powder one is one of my Melt Cosmetics ones. This is one of the cream blush lights. These are beautiful. This one is in the shade Polish. I also own the shade Sundown, which is such a beautiful bronzy blush. So good, but this one is amazing. Such a beautiful coral with like a golden sheen to it. So incredibly glowy, and these actually blend really nicely on top of powder. I discovered that more by accident when I'd already set my face after doing like my concealer and stuff, and I realized I wanted to use this. This actually blends like an absolute dream on top of powder. I'd still prefer to do it before powder, you know, but it works really great, and it's just such a good color. Moving on to the powder blush and sticking with Melt Cosmetics, this is one of the Buzzkill Duos. I love these. Actually, I think the shade that I have is called Buzzkill. They're just the duo blushes, whatever. But these are so wet looking. I don't even know how to explain it. They are just the most glowy, beautiful blushes ever. I love these. I kind of want another shade of this duo because I think they have 3 of them, but for now, I'm very content with Buzzkill. Such a beautiful color. If you're a little darker than me, you could probably even use this shade as a highlight really nicely. Doesn't really work like that on my ghostly skin, but I like to mix them together. I've used them both separately. Such a beautiful powder that can give you that dew. Because I know not everyone likes to use cream products. I became such a cream product fanatic, but I know that some people are very ride or die for their powders. This is a good one if you were looking for that dewy look, but without using the dew, you know? Moving on to highlight, I have 1 liquid and then 3 more putty textures. For my liquid one, it is the Rare Beauty Liquid Highlight. This is in the shade Enlighten. If you've been on my channel before, you may have heard me talk about this. This is pretty much the only liquid highlight I kind of stand behind. It's just so pretty. It blends so nice, and it gives you such a beautiful, ethereal, dewy look. I love this. I especially love wearing this on days that I don't really feel like wearing a lot of makeup because it melts into my natural skin so nicely and just gives me such a radiant glow. This is such a beautiful product. And again, I love the doe foot. I love the color. There's multiple shades in this as well if you are darker than me. I love this product. Just look at that shine. It is wild. I love it. This also does blend really nice on top of makeup, by the way. That's usually the problem that I find with liquid highlights, is that it doesn't blend nicely on top of my makeup. All right, getting into the putties. Let's go with an old classic. This is Colourpop's Flexitarian. I've gone through quite a few of these, and it is still staying so strong. Again, it's kind of more of a putty texture. It's not quite a cream, but it's not quite a powder. I do personally use this as more of a powder. I just kind of apply it on top of my makeup like I would any other. Look how shiny that is. It is so beaming. It is so bright. I feel like this has had so much hype for so many years, and trust me, it still lives up to the hype. It's still one of my absolute favorite highlights in my collection. To this day, if I run out of this, I probably will still continue repurchasing it as of right now because it's just so pretty. It's such a beautiful shine without it being sparkly, because the next 2 are very sparkly. So if you're looking for a very shiny, wet look, but without the sparkle, that's a great one. Next up is my all-time favorite highlight in my whole collection. You already know the Fenty How Many Carats Diamond Bomb. It is so used and abused. That is some love on that product right there. This is, again, kind of more of that putty texture, but what's unique about this is that it's more of like just translucent wetness. Just look at my finger. That is delicious. And then when you put it on the hand, it's just absolutely amazing. Oh, I don't know if the camera's gonna give it justice. Oh, it's so pretty. Let me try shining my flashlight on it. Okay, do you see the sparkle? I'm trying to translate it as much as possible. It is so sparkly without it being like chunky glitter. I freaking love this. I mean, like I said, it's my #1 favorite in my whole collection, and it's held that stance for a very long time. This is my go-to highlight when I don't know what to wear, when I travel, because this goes with everything, because it's just sheer with wet sparkle. Such a beautiful, dewy, glowy look, and it is absolutely amazing. Especially if you're going somewhere at night, this is magical. And the last highlight I want to talk about, this one definitely lives up to its name. This is the Be Perfect Cosmetics Get Wet Highlight. It is beautiful. Mine is in the shade Skin Sheen, and it is magical. I'm wearing it today, and I just love it. It is so pretty. Again, this has very much a putty texture. It's not really a cream, but it's not really a powder. It's very much a putty. And it's kind of a hybrid between what I just talked about with both, because it has a decent amount of pigmentation like the Flexitarian one, but it's so sparkly like Fenty. Let me just rub this one all over my hand too. Oh, it's so pretty. Let me shine my flash again. Do you just see how sheeny and wet that is? It glistens. When your face hits the sunlight when you're wearing this, it is otherworldly. I love this. There's a few other shades that I really am tempted to pick up, but there aren't really clear swatches online comparing them. So I'm so nervous that the other shades might be too dark for me, but I do know for sure Skin Sheen is magical and I love it. Kind of rounding out complexion products, when I use setting spray, I personally use it more so to make my skin look more refreshed, dewy, not really for longevity. I don't really believe in makeup setting sprays for longevity. I just think it makes your makeup look better. So here's my two favorites. First is the Milk Hydro Grip. It is almost gone, but don't you worry, I have another one. And I also love the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. These are both wonderful. They both have such a wonderful mist. I will show you right now. Just wait. It just has such a smooth mist and it is wonderful. I love it. It makes me feel so refreshed. It makes my skin look so good. I love those so much. It would be painful for me to do my makeup without a setting spray. And the last thing I want to touch on are just two eyeshadows. Obviously, there are so many eyeshadows in palettes, some very wet looking, delicious, like metal looking shadows. I don't want to go in every single eyeshadow palette I have and just show you every metallic eyeshadow that I own. That would be too much. This is more just like complexion focused. And especially because like with eyeshadows, I feel like just because it's metallic and shiny doesn't mean it's dewy, doesn't mean it's glowy, if that makes sense. That's a different world for me, but I do have two eyeshadows here in front of me that you can buy as singles if they're still available. Colourpop, I'm looking at you. But if you can buy these as singles. I think these have been around for a very long time and they do truly give your eyelids that very wet, dewy look. They are two of my Super Shock shadows. Let's start with my favorite. I love this one. This is, okay, everything is fine. It is still solid. Oh no, my Ritz. It fell apart. I need to buy a new one now. Okay, well, I'm not gonna hold that up the same way. I'm just gonna push that into place and be extra careful with it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that little moment, but Ritz is amazing. I've loved Ritz for a long time. I think this is my second or third one. It is just such a beautiful wet looking shadow. I'm gonna do my palm because the top of my hand is very highlighty now from before. Do you see that? This will truly give every eyeshadow you wear such a wet look. I mean, it's beautiful by itself as well, but it is such a good topper. If maybe, I don't know, it's happened to me before. I'm playing with some matte shadows. I'm not loving how it's looking. I throw this on top of everything and all is well in the world because it is so wet looking and amazing. I love Ritz so much. And now it's on my wish list to buy another one since this one just took a tumble. Thankfully, it's okay. Next is Frog, and this one will not take a tumble. My Ritz one was just getting a little thin. I think that's why it crumbled like that. I've never had that happen before. But Frog is also beautiful. It's kind of like the pinky version of Ritz, honestly. Just so wet looking and shiny and ethereal. And again, it's beautiful by itself, but it's also beautiful with other things to just give that glossy look. Because sometimes you want like the icier version. Ritz is a little bit bronzy, so Frog kind of gives you that other realm. And that's gonna round it up for this video. I was gonna talk about glosses as well, but then I realized I think that'll be redundant because I pretty much was gonna talk about the exact same glosses that I talked about in my top 10 lip gloss video from last summer. Obviously, I'm gonna do updated top 10s once we get to like July and August of this year, but they're all still pretty relevant if I'm being honest with you. So if you need specific lip gloss recommendations, please go to that video. You can also watch my lip gloss collection and declutter from December, or maybe it went up in November towards the end of the year. You'll know the one, the 2021 lip gloss collection and declutter, if you need specific recommendations. But basically, wet, juicy lips, that's always a plus. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my Dewy makeup favorites video. I had so much fun doing this. I love talking about makeup. I love talking about Dewy makeup. I love sharing my favorites with you, and I hope you enjoy this as well. Another huge thank you to Skillshare for partnering with me on this video. I've been working with them for quite a long time now, and I have so much fun working with them. And just a reminder to you guys that the first 1,000 of you to click the link in my description box will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare's membership. I would love to hear your thoughts on today's video though. Do you have any of the products that I mentioned today? Do you want any of them? What are your Dewy makeup must-haves? Leave it down below. If you made it to the end of this video, leave me any emojis relating to water droplets, the rain cloud, the individual water droplet, anything like that. Let's get some dewy wetness going on in the comments. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps my channel out a lot. And if you're not already, you can follow me on my other socials. You can join the battybean fam. I am battybean on everything, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you want, you can subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. I'm posting most days over here. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.